Hey everybody, my name is Steve Simonson, and today we're going to talk about the all-new Catalyst88 Mastermind group. So before I get into some of the details about Catalyst, let's talk about what a mastermind is in general. So this concept of a mastermind is essentially a group of like-minded people with similar goals and objectives to be able to sit around a table or an event or what have you and discuss their business in an open, non-competitive way and in a atmosphere of cooperation and an atmosphere of giving and sharing. A mastermind can be an extraordinarily powerful experience when it's done right because you get some of the brightest minds together working each other's problems. So as an example, if one member comes into one of the events or a meeting or a message board or what have you and says, "Hey, I've got this problem, everybody," instead of that entrepreneur feeling isolated and wondering if it's the right thing to do and maybe wringing the hands a little bit about what should I do, they get to have a support structure of a group of people, again, with like-minded aspirations and objectives, and everybody's able to kind of put their best foot forward, and it takes away one of the biggest downsides of being an entrepreneur, which is that feeling of isolation, or feeling lonely, or feeling like you're carrying the entire world on your shoulders. And so a mastermind concept, not new concept, certainly not, dating back to Dale Carnegie and others, they've talked about this idea. And our spin on it, when you think about Catalyst 88, is I've collected, some really great resources along the way, and I've now committed my own time, as well as ask some of my key resources from the legal, from the finance, from the marketing, from sales, from organizational development, from logistics, supply chain, China, Europe, all kinds of resources that I will bring into the Catalyst 88 events, as well as some other things that we'll do along the way. And we will share those resources and try to help guys accelerate their growth. Catalyst, the word itself, of course, is to be kind of the final bit of fire that launches your rocket. And that's fundamentally the goal of any entrepreneur, is to get that rocket ship flying. So let's talk about it, right? We all want to build that rocket ship. We all want to take off and hit the atmosphere. But there's an awful lot of things that go into making that thing lift off and scale in a significant way. And so the Catalyst 88 focus, as in terms of a mastermind, is going to be all about kind of strategy and scale. Strategy and scale. So there are other masterminds that are focused on digital marketing and focused solely on a particular niche idea. We're going to be focused on strategy and scale, and this will incorporate things like marketing and best practices when it comes to running ad campaigns or funnels or things like that. But there's plenty of specific, very tactical level things that you can dive in and learn about funnels, or learning how to rank products on Amazon, or these sorts of things. We're going to talk about things that nobody really talks about, and that's how do you hire an organization? How do you scale? What does systemic thinking really mean? You'll hear me talk a lot about your personal why and becoming a systemic operator, yet it's difficult for people to translate that into real tangible action steps. And the real mission, and I think the determination about success and failure for this group will be if the members feel like their business was accelerated and moved forward by being exposed to not just the membership itself, but if myself as the leader and some of my resources, if we're able to bring to the table something meaningful, tangible, and specific to help your business, then you'll have every reason to kind of continue with us on into the future. So remember, when you get out of the gates, it's exciting, but soon after that, it becomes kind of overwhelming. And instead of us just talking about, how do you get to your first $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or $200,000 a month, we're going to talk about how do you scale from nothing to something substantial that meets your personal why. And I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. But the business is designed to address your personal why. So what is your personal why? Most people don't really have a clear understanding of that personal why. It turns out that we're not put on this earth to build businesses or spend life every day grinding away at a business. Even if it's fun, even if it's exciting, And even when we want to put in the time, it should be about delivering some sort of objective. A business, after all, is just simply a financial tool meant to deliver a result to serve your personal why. And the more clear you are about that, and to whatever extent Catalyst 88, that we can help you find that answer, we're going to really be pushing people outside their comfort zones to find and define clearly and write down their personal why. This will become your barometer for every decision you make going forward, not just in your personal life, but in your business life as well. And the business, again, is designed to serve that personal why. Once you have your personal why, then you have to kind of put that into a strategic vision for your company. How is the company going to benefit you personally, and how is it going to serve your personal goals and objectives and long-term so-called primary aim, right? And these are two things that have to be absolutely compatible. But I tell you, once you finally synthesize it down to the right answer, it feels extraordinarily freeing, and it becomes something that gives you clarity of purpose and it allows you to become a decision-making machine. No longer will you sit around and kind of wonder, is this the right answer? Is that the right answer? Should I do this? Should I not do this? You'll have clarity of your personal why as well as your business strategic vision, and you'll be able to move forward faster. And that really is the ultimate catalyst for growth, that kind of clarity. Listen, we all know that day to day we have any number of options how to spend our time, right? We can spend a bunch of time figuring out a system for social media posts, or figuring out a new marketing funnel, or figuring out a better way to handle logistics, supply chain, cutting costs, this and that. Fundamentally, it's trying to figure out what are the things that you should have on your do not do list, right? Too many of us make a giant to-do list. It literally can measure in dozens or hundreds of items. It feels overwhelming, and whether we mentally think this or not, subconsciously our brain tells us, you know what? This is a big list. There's no way I can get it all done. I need to, go and work on something easy, and it takes your focus off of the big picture strategy and management of the business and down into the tactical level where you're just fighting fires all day long. And if you ever read the book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, he discusses this sort of concept where you're doing it, you're caught in the grind, and you never get the chance to fly up above it all. And I'll be honest with you, I've been there. Along my business, I may give you a little bit of history on myself in another video, but I've definitely been in that grind. I've definitely been stuck without knowing my personal why, and then finding myself with multi-million-dollar businesses that I didn't necessarily like, or I certainly didn't like how they were functioning. So we'll talk about in Catalyst 88 why it's important to have a do not do list, more important than the to-do list. The to-do list should be one or two key items, and then everything else should be on that do not do list. So we talk about your personal why, your strategic vision, and so forth, and it's really extraordinary that people operate day to day without a written plan, without a written objective, and without even a sense of when they should benchmark themselves against their plan. So many entrepreneurs are excellent at tactical so-called firefighting. They're really able to just get in there and fight it out, and really good at execution. But until you're able to ascend to a level where you're able to systematize and delegate, you just can't put a plan into action. And so, everybody's wishing that they could make this particular company successful, or this particular brand awesome, or whatever your goal happens to be, but it remains a wish without a specific strategic plan and then the ability to execute it with world-class precision. Remember that a system is essentially just a series of processes to deliver a predictable result every time. This is definitely something that is meant to produce the same result every time, and only the exceptions are how we kind of get the humans involved. And over time, that is the absolute key to scaling an organization. So I'm gonna just share with you very briefly that I've done business all over the world. I've started going to China back in probably 2002 or 2003. It's hard to remember now. Been there many dozens of times. Had a wonderful office of amazing people down in the Philippines. At one point, probably just over 100 people. Had the good fortune to be a chairman of the board of a company in the UK and meet extraordinarily people all across Europe. And I've imported, probably from every continent except Antarctica at one time or another. So I've definitely been around the block in e-commerce, wholesale, distribution, some retail, and indeed manufacturing as well. My specialty is e-commerce and really helping people understand how to go from zero to whatever level they want to, including tens of millions of revenue per year, in whatever way that serves their personal why. But I want to take a minute to talk about, kind of your personal why. There is no right answer that I can give you. I can't tell you what your why is, but I can tell you it's not just a financial objective. Almost everyone says, hey, I want to be financially secure on some level in their personal why. That's fine. And that should be quantified and it should be measured, no problem. A personal why is not in total a financial objective. That doesn't work. And in the group Catalyst 88, when we have these events, we're going to dive deep into this point. Fundamentally, you will never have the ability to kind of step back and feel like the system is running the business and the people running the system until you are able to identify the intangible things that you want as well as the tangible things. So not just the financial piece, maybe where you want to live, what kind of time do you want to spend with your family, your kids, what have you. Is your objective to grow a giant public company, or perhaps is your objective just to have a lifestyle business to allow you to travel around the world and be location independent, do whatever you want? It doesn't really matter what your why is. It just matters if you're engineering a solution to deliver that why. So I want to just share with you that Catalyst 88 is a mastermind. It's $25K per year. Not everyone will qualify. If you can't afford that, it's no problem. Go check out startsolid.com. That's a site where we regularly do free hangouts and free, we call them Mentor Monday sessions and other sessions from time to time. They're a little hard to schedule because the demands on my time are quite substantial. But the Catalyst group is meant to meet 4 times per year in person. We'll have quarterly meetings. It'll start in 2017, and we'll start meeting, for example, in March and June, September and November of next year, 2017. And we will have the opportunity to share very specific resources and systems for how you find your personal why, how you define your strategic vision for your company, how you set up a organizational structure that can scale, how you basically learn how to make systems and make your business into something that is quote unquote a real business. I've talked to hundreds of Amazon focused entrepreneurs, guys who are selling e-commerce, primarily starting on the cornerstone of Amazon and then branching into other things. And even guys doing substantial scale, millions per year, sometimes find it difficult to feel like they have a quote-unquote real business because they're enjoying some of the magic pixie dust that Amazon sprinkles on, but they don't really know, is it something that will sustain? Is it replicatable? How do they move off into other channels and sell through wholesale channels, sell through your own website? What are the differences that need to be anticipated? All of these things are things that we have experience with, both myself and many of the resources that I will bring into this group into various events and hangouts and so forth. And one thing I can commit is that we absolutely want people to be overjoyed with their experience with Catalyst. So at any point in Catalyst, once somebody joins, if they have a negative experience, we will work that out, including if that means they need to exit the group. We are not here for a money grab. We are here to value our time. We're also capitalists, so we definitely are going to charge for what we deliver. But we want to be held to account, and there's no problem with us sitting down with fellow entrepreneurs and saying, "Hey, this is really awesome. This is not so awesome. Let's figure out how to make it better." So if you are considering a mastermind group and trying to figure out your 2017 objectives and goals, think about Catalyst 88. There's some information at catalyst88.com. You can go there. You can find the process to fill out an application, and then once we come back to you with an approval or additional questions, then you can take additional steps from there. Just to share with everyone, to be clear, not everyone is qualified for this. Not everyone's compatible with this, but we love to help everyone. So if there are other resources we can point you in the direction of in the event that you're not the right fit for this group, we absolutely will do that. And we're excited and want every entrepreneur to be successful. And I'm going to part on this. I have a fundamental philosophy that basically says the world needs more entrepreneurs, and because the world is better when there are more entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs solve problems, they don't make problems. And I believe this absolutely to the core of my being, and that's something that I want to help other guys achieve some of the objectives and goals that they have. And luckily, I've had some decent experience along the way. So we look forward to finding you. Catalyst88.com. There's a contact us page if you have questions. I thank you again. My name's Steve Simonson. Looking forward to seeing you all.